Alright, so boom. Giving out a couple of vibes here, but do you see the 2000s jumping out? Do you see it? If you love me, you'll ignore the lip gloss that got on my bottom chin as it usually does. But anyway, that's besides the point. Do you see it? 2000s highlights, babe. Let's freaking get into it.
Hey guys, so this is the finished product. Sorry, I'm under like yellow light, so it looks a little bit more yellow. Yeah, looks a little bit more yellow. That's what we're working with. My battery's about to die, so I'm trying to move so quick. But still give you it. I put on some 2000 shades so that you get my drift. I love it. Downside about this hair is that it's not thick, even though I ordered it with thick density. So easy way to fix that is to throw some loose curls. It looks so much more yellow. I didn't think I would love it. I love it. Some 2000 highlights for ya. Come closer. I'm trying to not stand so much under the light. I hope you guys like this video and tell me what you guys think. The blonde came out so bomb.
Alright y'all, so hopping right into it. I am using the BW2 bleach and I'm using 30 volume developer. That's what I'm using throughout this entire video. The volume developer brand that I'm using is Superstar, and I have duck clips and regular clips. I didn't end up using all the clips, but you know, yeah. I want to first say, guys, I apologize for some of the vantage points in this video. I didn't realize that sometimes I was like the side of my body was right in front of the camera. Forgive me, honestly, because it was an oversight. However, I'll be able to talk you through it and you will be able to see, you know, what I'm talking about. So, you know, have no fear. But basically, you know, I mean, I'm not going to get into all of that of mixing bleach. You guys know how to do that by now. I really hope you do. Mix it until it's a consistency that it's not drippy, but it's also not super thick. And that's just that. You're going to take your rat tooth comb and you're going to be doing an in and out motion. It's the same gist of other highlight videos, but the point of this is chunky highlights. So what you want to do is gather more hair, like beside each other. So when you are doing your in and out, you're going to be grabbing more hair. This is the reason why my hand kept getting in the frame, because I'm trying to keep it all together on the same line. And I'm just trying to like keep it together. But you're going in and out. So your comb is going underneath the line of hair and then poking back out. Underneath, poke out, like weaving. And you see that is the chunk that I grabbed. See now, the actual width of the hair is not that wide, but it's also not thin. It's hard to describe. It's definitely less than an inch. It's less than half an inch. And I'm gonna show you again. You're going in, your comb is going in. See, you see the size of the hair? That's what you need to grab. In to the hair, and then it comes back out. Into the hair, it comes back out. Into the hair, it comes back out until you reach the end of the line where you want the highlights to stop. Then you grab it all, fold your foil, and begin bleaching, y'all. That's it. But you see what I mean by my hand was kind of in the way in terms of, actually seeing the in and out, but you got a few frames of it. I think that you can get a little bit of the picture. And then in a few moments, I'm going to show you again really clearly the in and out if you're still confused. But the key to this entire thing is bigger chunks than you normally would, because this is 2000. So everything, all the hairstyles were wacky, blonde ass, big ass streaks, and that's kind of the point, but to modernize it. I also want to say that when you guys are putting this bleach on, I'm putting the bleach, as you can see, directly onto the hair on the foil. I'm not, spreading the bleach with my hands and then putting it in foil. I'm doing it directly on the foil. So you really want to make sure that the bleach penetrates not only the front strands, but also the back strands. The way that I'm making sure that this happens is that not only is it fully coated, like to the point where it's annoying, like keep coating it, but you're also going to turn the brush horizontally and kind of like rub it back and forth so that you can make sure that it has reached the back strands. Like it's not just one coat on top. You'll be able to see that it has reached the back as well. And then you fold it up real nice and cute and tight so it doesn't come out. You're literally locking it in, and then you move on. You're going to do this a total of 4 times. I mean, you can do it more if you want the highlights to go further down on your unit, but for me, I had like literal inspiration and also just an idea that I was trying to get across, and that was just the top, because that was a 2000s thing. So next, what you're going to do, in between each of the lines of highlights, you're going to also grab another chunk of hair and separate it. So it's going to be a row of highlights, a row of blank, so like the natural hair, and then it's also going to be another row of highlights, and that's how I did it. So it wasn't just highlight, highlight, highlight back to back. There was a gap in between. And yes. So the gap was about the same width as the actual highlights. So it was like equal. And here I am grabbing that section, and then you're going to separate it with one of the clips that you already should have. Easy peasy, y'all. Easy peasy. But so the way that I decided to work through my sections was to do one side and then to do um, directly the other side so that the top two sections have the same, relatively the same bleaching time. I didn't just want, because honestly, like if you did like the right section, all of the right section, then you moved all to the left section, you run the risk of not being able to match each side that you bleached because you can't necessarily, time it exactly correct and the exact amount that you of bleach that you put onto the hair strands. And I tried to, but I did try to have the top section only have bleach on it for about half an hour. So I tried to get each section to have bleach on it for half an hour, which meant when I did the top section first, I only had half an hour to do the bottom section, and then while I'm washing out the top, trying to make sure that that bottom section also developed for half an hour. So yeah, it's a little tricky, but just try to time it as best as you can. The most important part is the top part. That's the part that's getting seen the most. The part directly under it, of course, that's important too, but I mean, like, you're going to see the top before you see the bottom. So yeah. You're gonna next see me here mixing in more bleach to the little solution that I already had. Nobody told me to do this. I just felt as though it needed more bleach. That's all. Because the longer that you do leave bleach out, the less strength that it has. So I just felt that I needed to add more bleach to the mixture. I didn't add a lot. I think I only added like a scoop or maybe a scoop and a half. I'm not one of those, little YouTube girls that uses their entire bleach bucket on one little job. That's not me. I'm trying to conserve the amount that I have and not be wasteful. So I use a little bit at a time, essentially. And right here is exactly what I was talking about earlier. This is where I separate the two highlighted sections on this side. So clip it away and then move on to the next section. Another note is that if you're going to start from the back, just make sure that you grab it in the same way to match the top. So in the top, if my last section was a section out, that's where I'm going to start on the bottom. So you guys can see really clearly here the in and outs, the weaving. And see how big my sections are? That is the key to this entire look. You just want chunkier sections. You want to grab chunkier sections, which is why it is chunky highlights. Chunky bright ass highlights, because that was early 2000s. Freaking Justin Timberlake with his ramen noodle hair, bright as ever. Kelly Clarkson with her bright white yellow streaks, which is one of the photo inspirations I definitely had. So I wanted to briefly talk about like my inspiration for this and what I was going for. Like I said, it's basically based around, the early 2000s. That's one of my favorite fashion time periods in terms of hair, clothes, and everything, as you guys will really come to learn. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I love to dibble and dabble in the early 2000s. I just love it. Especially because I was really like aware, like I lived through the early 2000s, and I was aware. So it just holds a lot of fond memories. But anyway, I really wanted my hair color to, I wanted the highlights to be a bright platinum, like a kind of like just a really bright white yellow. I did want a little bit of yellow, but not too much. I did want it to just be reminiscent of that time. So just really bright in contrast to the remainder of the hair. But I didn't want the remainder of the hair to be a natural black. I wanted it to kind of be more on the number four color in terms of braiding hair. But kind of still have, not to be that like bright. So I wanted the highlights to be bright, and I wanted the remainder of the hair to just be a brown that stood out, like a brown that was like, I'm brown, rather than it's kind of like a natural color, like a natural hair color. No, I wanted it to be like plain as day brown. So that's what I was thinking around the 4. But also I didn't mind if it was kind of like a little dustier. That sounds awful, but like not as shiny brown. So here I am after I rinsed out all of the bleach, and I believe I only conditioned it out. And then I braided it up and allowed it to dry. And this is the part where I'm definitely going to tone it. I only bleached this hair once, so you need it to get to this color if you're trying to reach the exact color that I got. And I used Wella Color Charm in 9N/911 in order to tone this hair. That color is very light blonde, is what it's called. And basically what I did, I didn't have Wella's developer, so I just used what I had, but I definitely use it in the 30 volume as well. And at first I only probably put a fourth of it, but then I went back in and put more. So in total I put only, listen to me, I only put only a little bit less than half of the little bottle. I did not use a lot. A little bit less than half. And the way that the directions describe to use this toner is to use 1 part of the toner and 2 parts of developer. Now, this is honestly my first time using a toner, so I was just doing as I saw fit. And I wasn't kind of alarmed by the chunkiness of when I was mixing it. I was just like, I guess this is just how it's supposed to look like. So, as you can see, it's like a little chunky. It's not as smooth as the consistency of bleach at all. But like I said, 1 part toner, 2 parts developer. So you kind of just have to use your discretion. That's what hair bleaching and coloring is all about, is using your discretion. And just in the same way that I use the bleach, or I apply the bleach, is the same way that I decided to apply this toner. And I was generous with how much I slapped on there. I just kept applying and applying and applying until like I literally used everything out of my little palette. Because I mean, I just didn't see an instance of it being too much toner. um, but I also really wanted it to get toned because I'm just like, this mess is really like yellow, orange, strawberry blondish, and I really wanted it to get to a light blonde, to like a pale but bright and vibrant. So that's why I just kept slabbing it on, and I just had no regard for how much I was putting on, honestly. And then later on, I'm going to show you, but I want to describe what I'm doing. First, I put the sections of all the toners first, and then I went in and I dyed. I used a box dye for the rest of the hair. Mind you, prior to all of this, I already tried to lighten all of the hair. It just didn't really work out. I tried to get it to be that number 4 brown or just like a different kind of brown. And it didn't work out on all of it. I think it worked out on more of the frontal than it did the rest of the hair, but whatever. So I did the toner first so that I could have that sectioned away. And then I literally applied a box dye to the rest of it with my hands. So I just slabbed it in all of the sections. Honestly, at first, I didn't even think that it applied very well. I thought that I messed up. Like, I just thought that I was just like, well, it's just going to be dark still. Which I was just like, I'm not going to do all of this again, honestly. But after it air dried, and I put it out, like in an area of my room that caught a lot of sun so that it could dry that way, I was able to really see that the brown did show through. So I was really excited about that because when I tell you, baby, I was not planning on doing anything again. And yeah, so toned it, sectioned it away, and was able to apply the rest of the box dye on all of the other sections of like the regular brown hair. I let that sit. I let that John sit for a minute. It was probably like an hour and a half. Because I just really wanted it to penetrate. And yeah, and then I washed it all out, let it dry, styled it a couple of days later, and then you guys will see the final result. So I'm just going to speed through this, and here I am showing you the box dye. It is a Dark and Lovely Fade Resist in the color 380 Chestnut Blonde. And voila, this is the final result. Do y'all like it? Like, I could not believe that I ended up liking it so much. But putting her on, she is a bad bitch. Alright, y'all, you already know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about her below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!